my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Land Stories Live. I am your host, Dave Deniston of Generation Family Properties LLC, where our goal is to help hundreds of people just like you own land. Most of all, we would love to tell your land story. Well, today I am flying solo. No Christy, no special guest, just me. So, you know what that means. We got to tell some bad dad jokes. So, those are coming. Watch out. And the topic for today, there's been some people asking me, should we buy land in Mohave County, Arizona? So, I'm going to talk about that a little bit and pros and cons and good stuff and things you can do around there, as well as things to be aware of. So we're going to definitely talk about that today as well. And as usual, you can check out all of our properties at www.genfamproperties.com. All right, my friends. Well, let's kick it off. Bad dad jokes. We love these. All right. You know what's coming. What do you call a factory that makes okay products? What do you call a factory that makes okay products? A satisfactory. Dun dun dun. All right, here's another one. What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies. Supplies. Oh, we gotta have another, right? Now here's something. Do not buy anything made with Velcro. Do you know why? It's a total ripoff. Oh, it's a total ripoff. Oh, bad dad jokes. Gotta love them, right? Gotta bring some interesting stuff. Why not? All right. So today in our episode, I posed this question of should we buy land out in Mohave County? Behind me, you can see we got a picture here of Mohave County. We got some electrical lines running behind me. We got mountains in the background, some brush, stuff like that. Now, here are several reasons I think why Mohave County is a great place. And we'll talk about some cons, and then we'll talk about some properties, some stuff you can do out here, all that kind of thing. So let me share my screen so you know what I am talking about here. Mohave County, Arizona. Here it is. So Mohave County, Arizona. You can see on this outline here, it's outlined right there. And look, there's the Grand Canyon going right through Mohave County, right through here where Lake Mead is at. You can see it's on the border. Here's the Nevada border with Arizona. So it's right on the border with Nevada. Here's also the California border. You can see these dotted lines here. So the Colorado River kind of splits everything out here. So you'll see here, there's a number of cities within it. Kingman is a big one where a lot of the county headquarters are at. So a lot of people have been to Lake Havasu City. If you're from California, you might be out there. You'll notice there's a lot of really cool stuff going through there as well as near it. So here's the Grand Canyon, right? Going right through it. Lake Mead right here. You got Lake Mohave right here. You got Lake Havasu down here. You got the Joshua Tree not too far away. Phoenix not too far away. Vegas not too far away. So up here, you're pretty darn close to Vegas. You're like an hour and a half away. Down here, you're pretty much a straight shot to LA. You can see here's LA not too far away. So what's cool about this county is it's central to three big cities, right in between. So if you have family in Phoenix, you got family in LA, you got family in Vegas, all of those are close to this. If you followed us before, we've had land over here in Seligman, little northwest of Prescott. That's in Yavapai County, but we're talking about Mohave County today. I would say some great things, obviously, about Mohave County is just the closeness to all this stuff. You're close to so many different areas. Flagstaff isn't too far away. Obviously, you have lots of great recreation, whether you want to fish, whether you want to go in the Grand Canyon, whether you want to kayak. I personally did a canoeing trip when I was in Boy Scouts, where I think we started pretty close to Needles, and we made our way to Lake Havasu City on a canoeing trip, which was a blast. And I highly recommend it if you can. You're not that far away from trees. There's lots of mountains around here. So whether you love to hunt or hike or whatever, great place for that. Big con, I would say, of Mohave County is it is desert. So let's do a quick search here. Weather in Kingman, Arizona. So let's see. Averages. See if it tells us the historical stuff. Bing used to be really good for that. Oh. Where is the history? See full year. There it is. So this is what I like to do on Bing to look at weather. So you'll see it's pretty moderate temperatures for a lot of the year. But then as you get into May, June, July, it gets to be pretty stinking hot. You know, you're looking at record temps on the high of 110. So it's not unusual to get well above 100 degrees here in July and August. But for us snowbirds, hey, October through May, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time to be here compared to being where I'm from in Minnesota. You get to warm up here relatively. You know, you get to 60 degrees quite often out here. Land, of course, out here is abundant. I mean, just see how big this county is. Let's measure it. Let's see. This county is 200 miles just about from north to south, and probably about 50 miles west to east, which is a huge, 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 huge area in this county. And there's lots of subdivided property. So what happened with myself, we normally acquire properties in a few different ways. One way that I've talked about before is mailing. So we mail people all the time, which there's lots of property owners here. And we pick up some properties here and there as we mail, sending out thousands and thousands of letters a month. In this particular case, in March of 2021, we were looking at properties out there, and turns out that there was a tax deed auction where there were 7,500 properties for sale. So the county had foreclosed on people that weren't paying their taxes, which is crazy because you'll see how cheap taxes are out here. They're crazy, crazy cheap. So we ended up picking up quite a few properties. So right now, as I record this, which is April 26th, we have about 20 something properties on our website, which are available for you right now. Also, our sister company, Family Freedom Lands, has another 10 to 15 properties on it, of which I'm also a 50% owner in that company. So check out our websites if you want to see what do we got available and what's going on out there. So in this case, a lot of the properties, not all of them, but a lot of them we picked up through the tax deed auction. So pros and cons to consider with this area. I think if you are someone that wants to get away for the winter, perfect place for you. If you are someone that wants to be close to Vegas, great place for you. If you are someone that wants to be close to Phoenix, great place for you. If you want to be not too far from LA and the greater LA area, great place for you. If you want to retire and be warm, great place for you. The major cons really come, obviously, there is some water flowing through here, but it is hot and it is desert. So most people don't drill for a well out here. You end up getting water hauled to you. Great place to have solar, great place to get away. One of the things about Mohave County and most of these areas is you can live in an RV out here. For our campers, though, most of these lots you can't camp on. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. So pros and cons, as with every area, in terms of what you can and can't do on it. I wanted to show you 3 different properties and then talk a little bit about some of the stuff you can and can't do in the area. So here's a property that we have. You'll notice there's a little bit of a hill going on here. There's some brush, stuff like this. This is parcel 340-22069. This particular property, you can see it's just an hour and a half from Vegas. You're just 3 hours from Flagstaff. You're just 40 minutes from Kingman. You're just 26 miles from Dolan Springs. So where is this property in the county? Now, if you go look on our website, you can click on the Google Map link. So let's take a look relative to what we were just looking at here. You can see here, as soon as it shows up, we're waiting for the little marker to show up. But one of the things about Mohave County that you have to be careful of is there is a lot of land for sale, but a lot of it does not have physical access. You'll notice our property here, bam, you can see there's a dirt road going right to the property. So you have both legal and physical access, which is so important. And we tried for the vast, vast, vast majority of the properties we picked up to make sure they had that. If they don't, we've discounted them heavily. Now you can see here, here's Lake Mohave on the left. This particular property is more in the northern part. So remember, there's the Grand Canyon up over here. There's Vegas over here. So you can see there's Dolan Springs. It's north of Kingman. So if we look on our last map, I'm gonna erase the distance measuring. So it's right about over here on this part of the county. So you're more in the northwestern part, really close to the Colorado River and Lake Mead and Vegas, getting pretty darn close out there. This particular property, I believe, is like 2.5 acres. So you get a 5-acre property in this case. So really nice sized property. Now, you notice that actually that someone messed up on the taxes here. They put in information on RVs. And for this particular property, you notice you can build a lot of different things. So the county is pretty lenient on it. So you could build a tiny house. It's 178 square feet minimum to build. You can have a mobile home. You can have an RV on it. If you have an RV, then if you do not have septic installed, you can stay on there about 30 days a year. So not about a whole month every single year. Now, if you are connected to septic, a wastewater disposal system, you can get a permit and live there year round. So great place if you want to live there 8 or 9 months out of the year when it's not real hot, or 6 or 5 or 4 or 3 months of the year. As long as you have septic, you can live in an RV on the property. Now, this property doesn't have power poles or anything nearby, so you're best off with a solar or a generator or wind. As we take a look at some of the pictures here, you can see, for those of us that are watching this on YouTube that or Facebook, you can see it has some shrubs on it. So there's some green stuff out there, but not big trees. You know, you have a little bit of a hill near the property. So you got some cool geography. It's not just flat around to it. here's a an outline of the property. Actually, I'm sorry. Looks like that's not that particular one. We have a couple of things we got to fix on this guy. Let's see here. I am going to pull up a plat map so you can see what that looks like. This is actually live. You can see we're not editing this bad boy with what we have here. 34022. Pulling up the GIS map for everybody. So those that want to check it out certainly could. All right, there we go. All right, so you can see right here, here's the property. Nice big outline. There's a wash going through the other properties on the left-hand side. No wash going through this property. And again, you have nice road access. There's a couple of neighbors to the north. Not a whole lot going on there. So that's all good. And property taxes out here generally are pretty cheap. I believe this one's about $50 a year for 5 acres. That's all that you ever have to pay on it. Next property, this one has power. It's the one actually I'm featuring in the background behind me for those of us that are watching on YouTube. And this one is parcel 215-14047. So you can see here on the Google map, we got embedded where it's at. You can see there's a highway really super close. $72 in taxes a year for a property with power. Crazy cheap in a subdivision called Paradise Acres. You can see here, there's the power lines right there, directly across the street from the property. You can see there's a power line right there, power line right there. There's the highway. You're super close to that, which is why property taxes aren't $10 like they are in some other places in Mohave County. And let's take a look at some of the photos here. You can see, look at this road, nicely maintained. You don't see a bunch of potholes in it. The power lines look nice. You got mountains around you. Don't see much in the way of cactus, just mostly small shrubs. So pretty easy property to clear. If I was looking to build something or have my RV, this kind of place would be great if you don't have solar already. You can see some nice shots of the mountains. Great views of this property. I really like this one. It's a good one. Let me go back. Go back. So let's take a further look to see where in the county this is. So I'm scrolling out right now, looking at the highway. You can see those washes again, which also does happen in Mohave County. And we try really hard not to get anything with washes in it. I believe this is further south. Yep, this is a little further south than the last property. So this one is closer to Kingman. You're closer to the Lake Havasu and that area. So you're kind of in the central part of the county is how I would describe it. The last property we looked at was a little further north, little closer to Las Vegas by probably 20 minutes, over closer here to Dolan Springs. So if you want to be a little closer to Vegas, the last property is better. If you want to be a little closer to Kingman and Costco and all the stuff they got in Kingman, the county headquarters, all that kind of stuff, you can see. Here's Kingman, zooming in here from, I'm sure probably satellites a few years ago. Pretty well developed. Little city. You can see even more over here. Lots of development out in Kingman. The third property that we're going to talk about today is east and south of where we're just looking at in Yucca. This is parcel 208-21305. So this one, even more so than the last two, doesn't have as much brush on it. This is in a subdivision called Golden Valley Ranchos, 2.3 acres. What are the taxes? They're only $6 a year. You're talking 50 cents a month. I mean, just crazy, insanely cheap for property taxes. So if you're someone that can live in an RV, you want a place to park, you have some solar panels for your electricity needs, then gosh, what a crazy, crazy cheap place to go. Be pretty easy to clear. You have a little bit of brush out there, but no big deal. No major impediments. You can see there's some cool views of the valley around. Nice mountains around you. There's a cool 3D snapshot of the property. And where is it? Let's take a look at our Google Map link. All right, so as I pull up the Google Map link here, again, you can see, look at this road access, well-maintained road here, which is so important as you get out to places. You can see here, scroll out a little bit, I think this is the Chrysler proving ground. So there's like, they'll test cars out here. So if you want to go watch, yep, it's the Chrysler proving ground. So really fun, cool stuff. There's the town of Yucca. So you're not too far from some supplies and the post office. That's all pretty close to the property. I would call this a fairly southern part of the county. You're a little northeast of Lake Havasu, but great area. Cool stuff you can do. You're probably looking at Havasupai Peak, and this area, these mountains to the east and to the west. So great views all around you. So again, really, really cheap. Someone just wants to own some land. They want to get away. What a great place to get to. Now, besides, of course, the RVing and the hiking and some of the stuff you can do out there, a few other things you might want to take a look at. I will link some of these links in the show notes. There's, if you like museums, there's a museum of history and arts. There's some trains there. This was founded like 50 years ago. Some cool art, local stuff, local economy things. Of course, you got Lake Havasu, you got Lake Mohave. Lake Mohave is 67 miles long. So it's really long. You can definitely fish out there. Lots of good fishing, as well as Lake Havasu. If you take a boat trip up the Colorado River to Lake Mead, of course, there's lots of jet skiing, water skiing, kayaking, all that kind of stuff out there. One of the highways that goes through the Mohave County is historic Route 66, which there is a museum that's in Kingman, and really fun to go and check out some history out there. There's a railroad museum, which is kind of fun for the kids. There's a brewery for us adults. The Blackbridge Brewery is a cool place where they make, of course, all kinds of alcohol out there. In his first year, the owner, Tom Schritter, he started in welding, and then at 23 years old, he constructed his own brewing system. And in year one, he produced 130 batches of 45 gallons each in his garage. So he started his garage, started having parties and fun stuff there, and expanded to having a brewery eventually. There's also a few wineries for those of us that love wine: the Cella Winery, the Stetson Winery. There's the Desert Diamond Distillery, where they do vodka and some rum and stuff like that. So wonderful place to do it. Great for golfing. There's a few ghost towns in the area. If you love to hike, the Hualapai Mountain Park is an awesome place to go. Lots of trees out there, lots of beautiful pines, stuff like that. Now, if you are a hunter and you want to hunt, there are lots of opportunities up in the mountains that we were just talking about, where there's antelope, bighorn sheep, there's black bear, there might even be some buffalo, some turkey, some mountain lions, mule deer, elk, white-tailed deer. Hunting season is about August through the end of December. So if you're a hunter, great place for you. Of course, there's some smaller game like coyotes and jackrabbits and quails and stuff like that. If you are a hiker, we'll link this in for you. There's a few great hiking stuff that you can do. There's the Surbat Foothills Trail. There's the Cherum Peak Trail. There's the Crack in the Mountain Trail. There's the Dolan Springs Trail, the Aspen Springs Trail, the White Rock Canyon Trail, and so much more. So lots of stuff, a variety of difficulties, easy to moderate to difficult. So enjoy. Lots of things to do in Mohave County. Again, I would recommend it. It's not for everybody, but I think when someone wants to make easy monthly payments, or they want to be able to buy something under $10,000 or less, great place to own some land, great place to get away. I hope this was interesting for you. Got some education on the properties out here in Mohave County. And I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. We try and go live on Mondays. I was having some technical difficulties today and couldn't make it to Facebook with some of the changes Zoom had. So forgive me for that. But hopefully, if you have a question about land, I would love to hear from you. Make sure to email me, contact@genfamproperties.com, or you can send it right through Facebook, Generation Family Properties homepage. Well, thank you so much, my friends, for tuning in to Land Stories with me, Dave Deniston. Make sure to check out all of our properties at www.genfamproperties.com, or our sister company, familyfreedomlands.com. Now, if you are looking for land, it would be my honor to speak with you, see what your needs are, see if we have what you're looking for. If you'd like to speak with me directly, feel free to give me a call at 775-234-2058. For Land Stories Podcast, this is Dave Deniston. Thank you so much for checking in. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.